Hello.
Hi, how are
Did
you?
I startle you? I'm early.
Nope, not at all. How you doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Thanks for having me on this.
Thanks for being on it.
I'll mute myself, let you get your work done.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, I'm
you
just trying
sure?
to look up something just to make sure I get
Oh, there's Margaret.
everybody.
Hey, Margaret.
Hi, Cheryl. How are you?
Good. I'm glad we had
Good.
a family reunion together. Didn't we have a blast?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Oh, gosh. All right, I'm going to put a background or something. Get rid of
I
my...
ended up at home just taking a picture of a blank wall. Oh,
yeah?
oh, that's nice.
That's my front entrance.
You and me both. Oh my God, I love it.
Or I could go to the beach. I just haven't...
I had a background of Bob's Burgers,
Oh, that's cool.
but I figured that was a tad unprofessional, so.
Oh, oh God. How's it going?
Good,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
going well. I miss
That's
seeing
nice.
everybody in person, but soon enough.
I know. Isn't it? I know. I missed you. I haven't seen you in a while. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. I'm admiring your backgrounds. Library looked good.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm going back. I don't know how that could.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good one.
Oh, because I'm downloading different ones. Yeah, that one.
AW had a couple too, but I forget
did?
where I found them now, somewhere in command.
Yeah, somebody told me just go online and go, Zoom backgrounds,
Yeah.
and then you can copy and paste them.
Yeah, those look good.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, looks like I redid my place. Better than my bedroom, I guess.
Ah, there it is. How are you doing, everybody?
Okay. Feel like
Awesome.
I'm living on Zoom.
I know, me too.
Golly.
It's terrible.
This is the fourth Zoom. That's not terrible. It's just, actually it's good. Actually,
It's great, but then it's like I can't get anything else done.
well, this is getting something done.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it.
True. Just not lead generation.
Could be.
Well, we Matthew and I listed 2 pieces of land in North Reading over a Zoom call.
There you go. Sweet.
Listed it and got it signed within 2 hours.
Awesome.
Zoom is good. Zoom is good. Zoom is our friend.
Yeah, it is. All right. Hi, Bernice. We're just waiting for Andrew. Then all our panels will be here. And then where's everybody else?
Yeah. They're on another station.
Right.
Hey, they're lead generating.
Right. Sure. I'm sure. No, we have 2 minutes anyways. Everybody got the questions, the email with the questions?
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. I just figured, I may just ask you some questions based on what you say, but nothing that I think,
No trick questions.
no trick questions. Like, I'm not going to ask you like, so what was your volume in 2017? You know, like one kind of thing. What else? God, everyone's quiet today. If we would put names in a hat for all the attendees and picking a name out for a prize, Steve would win.
Why would I win?
Well, you and Kathy, just because no one else is on the call is not a panelist.
Oh my God.
Oh, Margaret, I like what you did to your house. It looks great.
Do you like that? Thank you very
did.
much. I put that in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, you should see her new entryway.
Is it all from IKEA?
My favorite
Yeah.
place, right? Yeah.
Here they come.
There's
All
my
right.
entryway. That's my
Hi,
foyer.
Bernice.
Wow. Jeez,
Is that
Margaret.
planned?
Isn't that fabulous?
And then we meet up top. And then I want to take a break. Anyway,
All right, you're getting too fancy.
I know. Somebody just taught me that. So, but I like bills. I'm trying to figure out how to get my little emblem up there.
Oh, yeah.
That's very creative.
All right. Well, we're going to learn from each other today. That's what we're going to do. I'm sure people will start jumping on as we start. So, do you guys want to get going?
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right,
Go
let's
for
do it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks to all the panelists. So we have Cheryl and Margaret and Karen from the Norwell Market Center. And then we've got Bob, Justin, Bernice from Braintree Market Center. Yay! Awesome. So I'll just kind of do it in order based on my screen. So Cheryl, we'll start with you.
Okay.
So how long have you been in the real estate business and how many times have you been to real family reunion?
I've been in the business about 2 years now, and this was my first family reunion. Although I've done, I guess the last in-person thing we had was Masterminds of New England.
Yeah. Oh yeah, New England Masterminds.
Our
Yeah.
shot of us, the selfie you took. So yeah.
Awesome. Why did you decide to attend family reunion this year?
Well, I find that whenever I go to any of the classes, I always leave with something. And being a newer agent, I have a few transactions under my belt, but not having a business background, I'm always looking for I'm looking for actionable, immediate ideas.
Mhm.
So even though I'm focused on a big picture, for me, it's to get the ball rolling from week to week, lead gen and everything else. So every time I go to something, I always leave with something actionable.
Awesome. And did you this time?
Yes.
Awesome.
You want me to just go down the next question?
Nope. We'll move. I'll get to it. Yeah, I don't want to just have you just like run through the whole list. I'm just going to kind of break it up into sections. All right, Margaret, you're next. So how long have you been in the real estate business and how many times have you been to family reunion?
So I've been in the real estate business a little over 4 years, and I went to family reunion because I was excited I could actually have the opportunity, because I'm just not able to first afford to go there, and being a single mom, I just can't get away.
Mhm.
So this was so exciting for me that I could actually go and then be able to get so much information out of it. And so that's pretty much why I went.
Awesome. Fantastic. So this was your first time.
It was my first time, yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, Bob. So how long have you been in the real estate business and how many times have you been to family reunion?
25 plus and 8 plus. I stopped counting family reunions after a lot of family reunions.
It gets confusing, doesn't it? Like, which one? When did I go? Which city was it in?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, great. And why did you decide to attend family reunion this year?
Well, I think it's more about not me. I was able to have my entire team at family reunion today. All 7 of my team members were at family reunion for the entire 4 days, which
Awesome.
is remarkable. To do that, if it was a physical location, would be over $30,000. And so we're able to actually do it. We shared it, and that was it. I mean, I went. I would have gone if it was live, and I hope to be. I will be in Orlando next year. But that's it. Is we could learn. We prep. We learned a ton.
Awesome, fantastic, awesome. Justin, hi.
Hey,
So how long have you been in the real estate business, and how many times have you been to family reunion?
so I just finished my 3rd year in real estate, my 1st year full time, and it's my first time at family reunion.
Awesome. And why did you decide to go to family reunion?
Honestly, I was not going to go. I didn't want to sit in front of a computer for like 7 hours for 3 days, but I spoke to you and a few other people. And with everything being recorded and being able to go back and look at it, it was just like kind of like a no-brainer, because I wasn't going to be able to sit there, but to be able to go back and look at stuff and rewatch them was kind of, it sealed the deal for me.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. And I know you've been going back to them ever since it ended.
Yeah, I was just watching them the other day, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know I have to do that too. Bernie, no, Karen, sorry. Hi, Karen.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? So how long have you been into the real estate business, and how many times have you been to family reunion?
Okay, so 17 years in the business, and I'm coming up on my 4th anniversary at KW this March, which is
Yeah.
exciting.
Awesome.
It's my first time to family reunion. I decided to go because I went to the virtual mega camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I thought was great. And I figured I knew family reunion would be better. So, and to be honest, the reason I haven't gone to family reunion before is because it's always on school vacation.
Mhm.
So that's really the reason. So I was psyched to go, and I thought it was, great. And I do like the same thing that Justin just said, being able to go back and look, because, when you're there watching it, you get a little bit excited, and then you don't catch everything. So I thought it was great.
Awesome. So you decided to go because you went to mega camp. So what made you decide to go to mega camp?
Well, I got a free ticket. I won it. We did, I forget what we did, but for some reason I won. I think I gave the most leads to Sean for new agents or what have you.
Oh,
So,
good.
but I went. I didn't take it. I took advantage of that. Like I didn't I know sometimes when you get a free ticket, you blow it off or whatever, but I went, and I loved the fact, like I said, you could go back in.
Awesome.
So, but the family reunion was, 100 times better than mega camp, which I thought was very good.
Awesome. Great. Thanks. Hi, Bernice.
Hi.
All right. So same question too. How long have you been in the real estate business, and how many times have you been to family reunion?
So this is my 19th year
Mhm.
in real estate, my 2nd year at KW, first family reunion, and decided to come or go really because I heard about family reunion way before I came to KW. And I was really curious. I wanted to see what the hype was all about with family reunion. And just to have an opportunity to see leadership, after reading the books and, seeing all the methods and the strategies, I just wanted to see the people and the faces behind, the company that I'm a part of. So.
Awesome. Fantastic. Andrew, you were there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. So same question. How long have you been in family reunion? How many? I should know the question by now. I've said it 8 times. How long have you been in the real estate business, and how many times have you been to family reunion?
So I'm coming up on my 4th year in real estate, and this is my first family reunion. I'm a dual career agent, so I've always found it hard to go to family reunion and mega camp, live. And since mega camp this last go around was virtual and family reunion was virtual, I was excited to start to get some exposure to agents across the country doing a lot of things at a high level, so I could, take the piece of that and apply it to my business, and hopefully, really leverage was a big one this year, and I get to use all the leverage I can get.
Awesome. Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. Cheryl, so did you have a strategy prior to going into family reunion? Sometimes, agents will say, okay, well, I'm only going to go to listing classes, or I'm only going to do technology stuff. Like, did you have a plan, or were you just wanting to go to everything you could?
I just, I always go in totally open and just click around, see what's interesting. And I have the classes that I want to see live, and then I love to go back and visit the ones I couldn't get to, as well as the ones that I already saw. So I just go in completely open.
Okay. Margaret, how about you?
Yeah, because I've been doing, working with Judy Brown, coaching with her. She had sent out an email and said, look at the schedule, narrow it down, see which ones you really want to go to. So I had picked a couple of them. And then when there was like the time off, I would go to see the technology. And a lot of it was, things that they're doing at the office and stuff. And I said, I really want to try to fit in everything else. And then the technology is, I'm pretty familiar with it, but nothing they said was new. So I really wanted to focus in on all the lectures, Gary Keller talking. That's the first time I've seen him talk. So it's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Bob, how about you? I know in the past you've had strategies going into it. What about this year?
Always do. Actually, that's I found the greatest advantage of a virtual family reunion is just that I always go in with a strategy. I know what I want, and it was nice to have other team members so that we kind of divided and conquered, so we would cover them. But what was really amazing, if you're at family reunion and you don't pick you pick a session that doesn't work out the way you thought, you can't move. This one was so great. It didn't work out. You could change channels.
Right.
So,
Well, you could move, but you had to run to the next class, 10 minutes away.
Well, except so often they were packed. You couldn't get in. So that was probably the most, I think that. So that's my strategy. And there's two parts. I want to hear big picture. I want to hear the leadership, and that was really good. And so I did all of that, and then I picked out individual sessions. Worked out well.
Awesome. Justin, how about you? Did you have a strategy going in?
So not necessarily. I didn't focus on either listings or buyers, but I did go in the night before and I had a schedule. So I picked out exactly what I wanted to do. Spoke to some people. I went to everything that Gary Keller talked on, obviously, but I knew I was going into each day, so I wasn't kind of caught off guard. So, and I knew some of them were double booked, so I was going to have to go back and watch them. So I wouldn't say I had a strategy, but I had somewhat of a plan what I was getting myself into, I guess.
Awesome. Fantastic. And Steve wrote in the chat, asked if the family reunions were recorded in the past. This was the first time they've done it virtually. So we never could, well, I shouldn't say that. They'd have some things that we could go back to, but not like this. Yeah. Like they would have some things that you could go back and maybe like a breakdown, or you could see some slides. Like you always could see the vision speech and the state of the company. Those they always shared too. But for so many classes that they had, normally they have way more classes because it's just huge convention center. So yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Karen. So did you have a strategy before you decided to kind of get in there?
So the same thing that Margaret and Justin said, I had a plan going in. So I definitely put up, had my agenda. So I didn't have a strategy necessarily. I went through and just looked at, classes that sounded interesting, really wanted to focus on solo agent as well as the general sessions. Like that whole rah-rah thing. So I was, so I wanted to make sure I was into those because I just think those are very, get you moving and get you motivated or what have you. So not a real big strategy, but yeah, I was very focused and organized. So
perfect. Awesome. Bernice, how about you?
No, I didn't have a strategy. I did look ahead of time and had a couple of sessions and the the big talks that I wanted to make sure that I listened to, but kind of what Bob said, I went into one and it was so boring. I was like, let me see what else is going on at this time. And ended up going to one that I was, not really on my radar, but turned out to be really good. So, yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. Same question to you, Andrew. Did you have a strategy going in?
Yeah, so it was really good that they could, the software allowed us to make our own agendas.
Yeah.
But my strategy was primarily to target leverage courses. So there was one about solo agents with the admin only business.
Mhm.
And then also the big push with the social equity courses. I wanted to hear, Keller Williams' position and how we could incorporate that more readily into our businesses.
Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. And this just kind of popped in my head, so it's not even a question that I had asked you, but now it just escaped me. So forget it. I'll move on. All right. So when I think of it, I'll come back. All right. So we're going to get into the meat of it now. So we'll start with Cheryl. So what was the best breakout session that you went to? And we'll go through, because I'm sure you guys have more than one. So let's talk about one right now. What was the best breakout session you went to? Why? What was the class, and what were your takeaways from that?
Well, one of the best sessions that I went to was the one on farming, because I've started a farming.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, that was good.
And
There's a farming one?
yeah, there wasn't.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, and I started, I've been farming, and I finally went from 45 houses to 100 houses. And just a lot of it was reinforcement on the consistency. But they also had some fantastic actionable ideas. One was to do like porch portraits.
Mm-hmm.
Get a photographer and go around, just like different things you could do in your neighborhood that were, you can still be distanced and still keep yourself safe.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that one, the overarching idea that I got from a session, I think it was the first day, was to get the ask out of your head for the things that are holding you back, like asking for business, asking for the referral. And for some reason, that was the most motivating phrase for me, even though the other classes were helpful for ideas, for frame of mind. Getting the ask out of my head, I think, was the biggest idea that I took away.
Awesome. Write that down. Get the ask out of your head.
Get it out of your head.
Awesome. What was the name of that farming class? Do you remember?
I think it was farming.
Farming
Okay.
your way to the future.
It had farming in the title. I honestly don't remember, but it
had farming in the title.
Yeah,
Farming your way
exactly.
to the future.
All right. Thank you.
Well-oiled machines. It was really good.
Awesome. Fantastic. Awesome. Margaret, tell me one of the best breakout sessions you went to, why, and what your takeaways were.
Okay, there were actually two, but I'll just say one of them. The other day I did a home buyer seminar, Zoom one. So it was the first one on Zoom.
Mhm.
So my focus, so what I did was go to the class that was called Win the Day with Competing Offers. Because the other thing, I have more buyers than listings. I think most of us fall into that category. And they gave some great strategies on, I just wanted to hear from people how they have winning offers. So I got a lot of, pointers about that. And then the biggest thing that they emphasized on a lot is when you have a buyer is in that buyer's consultation that you have to be completely, transparent and let them know up front, this is how the market is, this is what's going to happen, and there's going to be 4 to 5 offers for each one, so just they had a list of, doing that. So that stuck out in my head for that one. So, and then buyer fatigue, which, I'm sure has happened to many, and then how to keep them motivated and, energized to just continue to make offers.
Do you have any, anything written down, like suggestions on what they said to kind of keep people more engaged?
Oh yeah. So to keep them focused on the end result, that was one of them. And just letting them know that I'm going to find you a home. We're going to find that home. And then What is your it's about finding a house, getting backup plans? Oh, and then, getting a backup house, like you're putting an offer in on a home, but you want to have a backup one. So that kind of keeps them, in the game and interested. So those were the few that I wrote down.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bob, same to you. What was one of your best breakout sessions and what were your takeaways?
It was the same as it was the same as Margaret mentioned about dealing with multiple offers. What was interesting is Jay Papazan in his session actually had the same conversation. So that came up twice, and it was well done. I mean, we actually took it back, and Cassie's putting together a how-to from that. What are all the lessons learned? So that was one. But the other one that was more strategic was the one that Jason Abrams did when he talked about the peaks and the valleys. All of a sudden your people ready to buy and you lead generate. What do you do on the lows? What do you do not? And it's a whole idea of being in their life at all times, not just when they're ready to buy. It's just being there and being there as a go-to person. There's so much you can offer. You can, just knowing who the contractors are, know anything they need, be a go-to person. I thought that was well done. So I appreciate that one. That was my other big one.
Awesome. Did they give you some suggestions about being the go-to person, like, obviously doing campaigns or calling them about interest rates, or did they give you any examples of what to do or writing to events, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, they did. In fact, I'll just see if I could pull up. Yeah, they did do that. And I think, let me just quickly, because I caught it, they gave lots of suggestions. They talked about, smart plans.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about handyman services. They
Mhm.
talked about having, quote, your yellow pages, if you could, when people are looking for. He talked about investment services. He talked about Keller Mortgage, for refinancing unique. And he said, find unique services during lead generation and also during transactions. So it's always be in front of them with things that they will remember you. And so the question is now, how do you build that into your smart plans? Yep.
Yeah, so items of value all the
You
time.
got it.
Awesome. Fantastic. Justin, same to you. Breakout session and takeaways.
Yeah, mine was build a solo business built to last.
Mhm.
It was really good. I actually connected with one of the panelists, Will Higgins, because what he was doing was farming his gym. So that was my big takeaway. I go to a gym, it's huge, a bunch of people there, and their farm's already done. Like, it's within those walls, and that's it. Those are the people. So I actually reached out to him, and he got back to me with how he did it, kind of like a template of how he went about doing it.
Awesome.
So that was awesome. That was my one big takeaway, and it's probably the first thing I'm going to implement as well that I took away from it.
Yeah. Can you give us some ideas of what they said to do?
As far as the gym,
Yeah.
no, I haven't gone through it yet. No,
Oh, okay.
I don't
Gotcha.
have much for you.
Okay. That's all right.
It's on my list.
Yeah. It's on the list to read. Yeah. Gotcha. All right, Karen, same to you. Breakout session and the best takeaways.
Okay, so my favorite my favorite session was achieve service excellence, deliver a luxury experience your clients will remember.
Mhm.
And that was by Brady. I don't know, how do you say his last name? Brady, he's the one who runs all of luxury that we watched the film today.
Yeah.
He was just so awesome. And I didn't even realize that he ran luxury because I missed I missed the intro for some reason when I was going into it. But he's just so focused. The way he worked the room with the four people that he was interviewing, that was great. So one of the takeaways I took from that was the 4 C's, coming from care, curiosity, consultant, and close. Right? The whole session was about really listening to your client. Where's your client now? Where are you taking them? And the other thing is what level of value are you adding that you become irreplaceable? So it's just the whole theme throughout. I mean, I know it says luxury, but this is a service that we should be giving to all our clients, right?
Anyways.
Yeah. So down from, the lowest price point up, it should be the same, in my opinion, the same level of service. So it's just such a great class. I mean, some of the other things out of there was just like, keeping, coming from abundance. So nothing like really new or earth shattering, but, coming from abundance, versus coming from fear, because because they were going back to the whole luxury thing. Some people are afraid to break into luxury because they're coming from the fear, like, I don't know this stuff. When, reality, you're just talking to people and getting to know them. But again, really knowing what your value proposition is, what you're known for. That was another big theme in it. And then Brady was supposed to send something out. I did email him. And if I get it, I'm going to email him again. It was called 8 Defining Moments. So I'm not sure if that's a book that he wrote or what have you, but it's really coming from, surprise and delight, different things along the way during the transaction. How to be, top of mind and, keeping your clients engaged. So really for the ones that are signed up for Family Reunion, I really highly recommend that you go back and listen to it.
Awesome. Thank you. Bernice, what about you? What breakout session did you love and what were your takeaways?
It was the one I think that Karen was in. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm just looking at my notes here and I have luxury breakout as my heading. So I'm thinking that's it. And it wasn't one that was on my radar, but I popped in there because the other one just wasn't interesting. And I was not surprised, but I did walk away with the agents that were in there. They talked about the luxury client and how they differ from the regular residential or commercial client. And they were saying that their personality requires, they think from a point of save me time, who's going to get me the most money, who has the experience. That as an agent, you have to be anticipating their questions, like where they're at and what's the next step. And don't be behind, like don't let them call you for something. You should call them and say, listen, this is the next step. This is what we need to do. And that you have to have like a higher level of service with them. It's more of service with a luxury client. But what I took away from that is that even though that's a luxury client, I felt like we should be doing that for all of our clients, So maybe I just treat my regular clients, as they call them, like luxury clients, But I love that she said, and I don't know why, it just was like an aha moment for me when she said, like, don't be behind. You should call them. They shouldn't be calling you. If they're calling you, then you're behind. Like now you become like a burden for them. Like, are they doing their job? And I think a lot of our clients feel that way too. So. Yeah.
I mean, we get a call from our client like, oh my God, I should have called them. I knew I should have called them. So, I've learned that if they pop into my mind, I have to call right away because before when these would pop in my mind and then they would call and I'm like, shit, I meant to call them first. Like I was going to call you, So now you just got to do it because like you said, they don't really know, like, what are you doing? And there's a reason why they're calling you. So maybe they didn't have an answer. They don't know what's next or whatever it is. So, awesome. Yeah. Great. Andrew, what about you? Breakout session takeaways.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't have my notes with me, but one that comes to mind is Gary Keller about the smarter database, and really just making sure that he liked to attune it to his music friends and how the reason that they're hurting so much is because they don't own their database. The concert halls are getting the people into the room for them and saying, hey, you're playing here and I'm paying you extra to do it. But when you take advantage of it and you own the people who are interested in you, you can then curate that database journey for them, whether it's they're purchasing a house or they're not ready to purchase a house, but they want to know what are the right things for them to be doing over the next year or two so that when they are ready to buy a house that they're perfect. Constantly educating them. Like Bob had mentioned, that graph that has the values and the highs, just providing value at every point along that journey. Obviously, probably using KW Command to automate some of that stuff and leverage it for you. But that was a really important one. And I'm always a big proponent of the financial advisor kind of discussions, rather than, hey, I want to buy a house. Awesome. Let's show you a couple of these bad boys and let's get it done. I like a challenge as always. So people who are, potentially using Section 8 to do down payment assistance programs, and just those like maybe they're very typical, but we don't do a ton of them. Perhaps just being able to have that conversation of, hey, this is still a reality for you. It's a little bit different. It's not this typical, marketing material. That's our journey, but we can get it done. So, and that was in that social equity class. So those were my two that I enjoyed the most.
Right. And I know you don't have your notes with you, but would you, when we were all on a text thread during the social equity class there, and you had texted something within the group that I thought was fantastic. Could you remember that enough to share that with everybody?
I would say it's probably more powerful in the text thread, but in essence, it was, we shouldn't only be servicing clients that are 700 credit scores, plenty of money in the bank, working, have a job right this second that they will never lose, and are willing to pay $50,000 above ask, no matter what. We have to service all potential homeowners, even if they're using something unique like a down payment assistance program. If they historically were on Section 8 and now they're using Section 8 to provide down payment assistance, we have to be aware of how those things work so that we can better advise everyone how to, what's the realistic journey look like to get their home.
Yeah, and Bernice, I think you and I talked about the other day, be the agent to be inclusive of everybody, so that you can service more people. If you're inclusive of everybody, then you can have a bigger business by including everybody into it.
Exactly. I mean, I think one of the things that Gary Keller said that stood out to me was when he said, diversity is good for business, period. You got to include everyone. You can't exclude. So, yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
I'd say that's a waterfall effect. I mean, you're going to get amazing recommendations from those people because, the information isn't out there to help them. So the fact that you came out of nowhere into their life, provided them this extreme value to them that they never thought was real before. I mean, they're going to be shouting from the rooftops. Like Bernie said, it's 100% good for business, and it just feels good. It's doing the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, having somebody that's on your team that's bilingual if you're not bilingual. I mean, you would never normally get that business because you're not bilingual, but yet if somebody's on your team, look at all that other group of business that your team would have because of that. Yep. Awesome. Fantastic. Does anybody else have another breakout that they want to share and talk about that they loved?
I did want to add just a couple of things for the buyer fatigue that I turned my page and I saw more. And, it's kind of like based on what we're talking about. It's, have the grace and understanding, as you talk to your buyers. And also, another strategy would be, what if I told you that your offer won the deal? And you have to tell them that their offers are worthy, because they probably get it to a point that they're like, nobody wants my offer. So I had turned the page and saw it, so I wanted to add
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I had one. This was a quick one. It was like a 15-minute session, and it was with Sven Anderson, who I think he's on the North Shore, but big agent, a very given person. And his was about master seminars to make yourself the real estate agent of choice. So it's everything we've been talking about, Margaret, you had referred to on your buyer seminar or what have you. And he just talked about how the Zoom seminars, they were doing them in person, obviously first, and then just how much the Zoom ones have really worked out, because recording them and then being able to send them out numerous times or what have you, and how great it has been, for, lead gen. So that was a great one. So I highly recommend going into that if you can.
Awesome.
Yeah. I went to one, I can't remember the name again. I'm looking at my book and I have like ridiculous notes here, but no name of the class. I think this is the one about referrals though. And one of the things that stood out to me about working your sphere and getting referrals from your sphere of influence, the gentleman who was teaching the breakout session said that whenever he gets a new client, throughout the transaction, he's consistently asking for a referral. Like, hey, you know, so you got an offer. Isn't this great? Wouldn't you want one of your friends to feel this way? Like, you know, make sure you refer me. And then another woman said that as soon as she signs the contract with her client, she tells them that you're going to be part of the special client club now, and that they have a separate Facebook page just for all of her clients. And each year she sets, like, she does a set amount of treats for all of her clients throughout the year. So that club gets these treats, like she does drive-by, she does drop-off, she sends them cards. And then, I don't know why this was like another aha moment too. So they said they have referral rewards. And for every referral, even if it doesn't result in a sale or a client, she sends a Starbucks card for $10. It says, thank you for, you know, sending, you know, X amount of referrals. And then if one person within a year sends 3 referrals or more, she sends them like something bigger, like an edible arrangement or like a $50 card to a restaurant or something like that. And that stood out to me because I do send people like a card or something if a deal or a referral ends up in a sale, but I didn't think about all the people who referred me and it hasn't. But she was saying you stay at their top of mind, even if you don't get a sale, they're still always going to refer you because they're going to be looking for their $5 gift card to like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or whatever. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing that this year for the rest of the year. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back to last year and get a bunch of $5 cards and reward folks for their referrals. So,
Yeah, Karen said refer your flash, but it was refer your, say it again, referrals depend, just say it, regardless of the income. It went so fast.
Yeah, rewarding behavior of the referral regardless of the outcome.
Reward the behavior.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep.
Awesome. And did you guys know that you could go on DunkinDonuts.com and you can actually have gift cards made with your like name on it, your picture, the logo? Yeah, they cost a little bit more. Like a $5 gift card is going to cost you more than $5, but they're pretty cool. Like mine says, my business runs on your referrals.
Oh,
you know, the Dunkin' Donuts thing is the run.
I was saying they're refillable too, those ones, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. So they get to keep it around. Yeah.
Oh, that's
they could keep it around if they want.
Yeah.
And then that's a nice gentle reminder when if they don't use it right away, they have it in the car and they say, oh, that's right, this is the one that, you know, Margaret gave me. So just keeps you in mind as well.
And I haven't done this, but it just kind of popped in my head when Andrew was talking there. So you'd have to kind of figure out, but I think when you buy gift cards, because it happened to me once, you can put them like on your app, right? But I think you can name them, but I don't know if you gave them the card, they could use it and then you could refill it automatically for them and say, hey, I'm going to refill this for you. I don't know if that actually works out, but it sounds like a good idea. Sounds like a really cool idea. Okay. All right. Awesome. Anybody have anything else that they want to share as far as like the class I went, ahas, any of that stuff?
We'll say the farm class is pretty cool. Was pretty cool. Everyone really latched on. I forget who said it. The lawn bags with your brand on it. I think it was just tossed out there as almost like to create a comparison, but everyone latched on to it. I think Google got 1 million hits for custom lawn bags at that moment. But
oh, really? Oh my God.
No, probably. Everyone took it very literally. But I think having a very small farm, like for me, I just moved to Melrose, so I'm gonna have, you know, the block that I'm on, the block behind, and the block in front. And just every quarter, I'm gonna give them something of value. The lawn bag sounded great, but I don't know if I'll do that. Come winter time, they have like these little wax things for your pets. So I was going to figure out who has pets so that I could give them that wax to put on their feet so they don't get their burns from salt and things like that. But starting to be purposeful in that relationship so that, you know, once again, you are the go-to agent more so than just to do real estate, but for everything. Like you are that person.
There was something else again from the farm class. if you're working an open house, this could be any open house, but let's say it's in your farm and something else is on the market with another agent, to get permission to show that house. So let's say you have someone come in and they're not interested in your house. It's part of being the area expert, and say, oh, if you're available at 4 o'clock, for example, you know, we could meet and I could show you this other property. Just another way to have those discussions with buyers, but be ready to act
Awesome. I love that.
right there. Yeah, I thought that, I mean, it seems so easy, but I never thought of that.
Right, right. Well, and that's why we go to these things. Like, that's why we go to family reunion. That's why we go to mega camp. And we also go to get spiral shift books, you know, I mean, you know, because you can get cool stuff there.
Where? I want my spiral MREA book.
I'm gonna try to find one for you. So yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, is like, you know, you hear these things, you're like, oh, how come I didn't think of that? I mean, hello, but you can't think of everything. So that's why that's why we're a company of caring and sharing. You know, you go to these things, you hear these things, you implement them, which we're going to talk about next. I'm going to jump ahead to implementation. And when you do that, you know, you can have huge success. Years and years ago, Nicole Condon and we went to mega camp, and they had a panel. When you go to mega camp, Gary Keller will have a panel of like commercial or first time home buyers or whatever the title is, and he'll interview the people on the panel. And this was about getting referrals. And that's when the whole Yeti thing, like if you do like a contest for a Yeti, and they go on to, like, at the time it was like Zillow at the time, you know, and they put a review, they get their name put into a bucket, and then they pull out, and then they win the Yeti. Well, Nicole did that as soon as we got back. She got so many reviews, like it was ridiculous. And she got so much business because people saw the reviews. I mean, that was like amazing. And so now she always does it. She just keeps doing those things. So, you know, if you implement it, it works, you know? So speaking of implementation, what did you learn that you're going to immediately implement in your business? And you promise you're going to do it? Bueller.
Are you going to?
One thing I implemented right away was really trying to maximize the juice out of the database. I mean, we hear about it every single time, mega camp, family reunion every year. So actually leverage that, because it's been something, it's one of those things, it's like, oh, it's on my list. It's on my list. It's on my list. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pay someone and they're going to do it. So I paid a lady, and she customized all of these action plans that I immediately turned on. And I'm having people start to reach back out to me, or go to my website, and I see that they're on there, signing back in, and getting re-engaged. So, I mean, that was a huge one, just to make sure that, like, you're not, like, we have these big databases over time, and we got to make sure that we're really using it and making sure people are still around and provide value.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Margaret, were you going to say something?
Oh, I didn't know if you were going in order again.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I decided not to.
Well, one of the things that I had heard is preparing for the next market. And this hit me because, you know, sometimes at this point, you know, unfortunately at that lull, you know, you learn from everything. But, you know, in the past, I would get just like, oh, frustrated or whatever. And I know a lot of people might give up or just say, oh, the heck with it. But it was more like a future thing, you know, prepare for the future. The market's going to change. Just keep getting that pipeline filled. Just keep going, keep going. Don't get discouraged if it's not now. If somebody says, oh, I'm not going to buy for a year, or I'm not thinking about selling for a year, you know, just keep filling it, keep filling it. So for some reason, it just clicked and stuck with me. So I don't sit on that pity pot going, oh, I have nothing, you know, that whole thing. So I just focus on that. So that's one of the takeaways.
Right. So even though they're not going to sell for a year, you've got a year to be in touch with them consistently so that they give you referrals of other people within that year.
Bingo.
So think of it.
Oh,
So think of it.
see?
Yeah. See,
Girl,
think of it that way.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, you're not gonna buy free yet? Yay! All right, I'm gonna get a ton of referrals this year out of this person. Right? Change your mindset.
Always
Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change.
All right, girl, I'm with you. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Anybody else? Implementation.
Yeah, mine was pretty simple. It was actually in the farming class too.
I gotta go to this
I
farming
need to
class.
rewatch that.
I thought of you
I'm
the
the
second
only
I
one that
started.
didn't go in this class, or what?
Wicked good. But one of the panelists, Sylvia and Coria, said everyone's getting ready to get ready to get ready. Like, so that just like resonated with me. Like, I'm always in classes, I'm always doing this, but am I implementing anything? So she was talking about farming, and she was like, you know, you may want to do 250 or 300, but if you start with 40, it's something, you know. So start with 40, go to 60, go to 80, but start doing something, because like I said, everyone getting ready to get ready to get ready, but you're not going out and doing. So I
Awesome.
love that.
Did they talk at all about like what constitutes as a good farm? Like, did they talk about what to look for in a farm, or they just kind of said, go farm?
Kind of seemed like most of them were in their own neighborhoods.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going without it, but they had big farms.
Yeah. Some have a whole town is their farm. Like Andrew Bloom, he's got like literally the whole town is his farm. Yeah. That's a lot of mailings. Yep. Awesome. Anybody else going to implement anything from family reunion?
Yeah, Kristen, I've got a list of what I'm not going to implement.
Okay, awesome. Let's do it. This is fun.
I mean, this sounds like New Year's resolution. What are you going to implement? And I've gone through this, and with all good intentions, we see something that seems cool and sexy. We say, okay, new technology, we're going to implement it, and it doesn't work for a variety of reasons. You know, one is you're not committed. The other, it's not ready. And so what I learned out of it, and I'm right where Andrew is, because the common theme across entire family reunion with all of the various things was your business is your database. Get it right. And so you start with that, and we're already there. I didn't have to get convinced. I just got reassured, just so reassured how important our database is. So that's number one. And then I say, whatever my CRM system is, you got to have that. Simple as it is, you know, we were an early adopter of Command, and we're there. But the thing I won't do is to go putting things in that sound good that are not tried and tested. So that's my coaching to it. Do what you know that can work, that is in line with what you want to do. And so, you know, we just stayed with, you know, Kathy was at the family reunion, and same thing as you start with the database. We use opportunities. We use it to manage our pipeline, and all of the, you know, postcards are nice and this and that, but they're kind of one-offs. Got to start saying, making sure that we can communicate with our database, and so their contacts are in there, that we've got a place to know where they are in the pipeline, and we're managing that. So I'm leery about taking on new things until I know what we're doing and is working and working reliably.
Awesome.
So I agree with that. You know, I've fallen into the shiny penny trap as well. And you will find that it won't scale, right? If you do 6 things all at once, you're going to do 6 things really mediocre. You know, you got to find that one that you're going to commit to for a quarter, 2 quarters. I think 12-week year was a big thing. So, you know, at least your quarter, and just give it your all, make sure it's in your budget, and just full steam ahead. If otherwise, you're just going to be spinning your wheels, and then you'll be one of those people who say it doesn't work and look down at it. So.
So I just want to add to that as well. I'm doing the Judy Brown coaching as well, that Margaret is doing. And I have to say it's been really good, because she keeps you focused, and we talk about the one thing. So I think, you know, for me, it's about being kind to yourself right now. And instead of saying, okay, I'm going to go out and do 4 hours of lead gen, and you know that you're not doing that right now a day, don't go from 0 to 60, go to 0 to 20, whatever it is, and then commit to that, and then keep on growing from that. So that's something I have committed to. for myself, because you go with these, like you said, going with all these things and you know you're not going to actually do it because you know you have other things going on at the same time and making appointments or what have you. So
Mhm.
do what you can because it's better than doing what you're not doing presently.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So I had a couple of ahas around this. One of the the best lines I heard was, tomorrow's business is way more valuable than today's. And think about that. How much business is going on right now? You know, it's cut in half because of lack of inventory. But tomorrow's business is out there, and a lot of these people are going to sell or buy at some point. And the other slide that Gary showed was the 5.6 million sales versus the 83 million homeowners that are out there. So we should be, this is all coming back to lead generation, to be contacting those 83 million homeowners. The other aha I got was that 70% of the consumers stay with the first agent that contacted them. So that was I mean, I think we've heard this before, but that just kind of just nailed it down because, you know, with technology coming, we have an opportunity to get in front of these people, especially through command. And I'm almost done here. On the command implementations, there's stuff in there that's free, right? Such as smart plans. I think you could get on, you know, if you go right back to the Red Book, it's all about those touches. And you don't need to get it all the way up to 36 touches. How about just starting with 4, simplify it so that you're on the smart plan as you set it and forget it. It happens. And then getting into, you know, if you're going to spend some money, get into the Facebook leads. And what I heard, and maybe you've heard this too, is you get a pretty house that, you know, that you can advertise, and then don't advertise it too long. There's something about it where where the cost per lead goes up. So, but you can do it very efficiently and effectively. Smart plans, Facebook leads through command. That's what we really got to nail. I really like what Gary had to say about putting this together and why we're doing the platform. Did everybody pick up on that and understand why we're going this way? You know, you've got other avenues of getting business, but the data could be taken. Your own data could be taken, you know, going forward. So we don't know. But with command, our data is protected, and they're going to add everything in-house. Like they'll be grabbing more and more things that will be proprietary, or they'll have a contract with that other person they're coming into business with can't turn around and take the data. So all this stuff is very important going forward. I hope you guys understood that, because that's the vision going forward, that, you know, we're going to be we're going to have command. It'll be end to end, giving our clients and customers something that they'll come back and use us for, rather than go outside and click on some Zillow thing and then you lose them as a customer without even knowing it.
Awesome. Well, that's a good segue into technology. So, and this is open to anybody, because I don't want to put anyone on the spot. So, did anybody learn anything new about the technology, about command, that they didn't know before? Did they know about something but didn't really get it, now understands it better? I don't know how many technology classes that there actually were, but did anybody find anything helpful as far as the technology is concerned?
This wasn't KW specific, but it was just a stat that stuck out to me. 3D home tours up 600%, and 33% of sellers said that they would be using 3D home tours. Obviously, it's pretty common right now, but If you're not doing it, it seems like you're behind. So it's almost like commonplace now, you know what I mean? So I thought that was interesting.
Gotcha. Like Matterports and stuff when you have a
Yeah, yeah,
listing.
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else with the technology?
It's so convenient too. Like Matterport came on the scene. I started using it right when the pandemic hit, and it was the best thing. It was awesome.
No more technology stuff?
I don't think, that was my point. I don't think that there was a lot. I mean, they were out there pitching it, but I don't think this was not a technology family reunion. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
there was a breakthrough there. There was a lot available for sessions, but this is about the direction where to focus. And so I didn't walk away like, ooh, major breakthrough in technology. And I think, I agree with you, Jason and Al, about 3D. I was using Matterport, and it turned out that it's tied to your photographer, which I wasn't happy with. So I'm actually using, Planomatics, and what I like for 3D tour, which is simple. You get the floor plans, you get the good photos, and then they're actually using Zillow 360 tours. And it's a very simple one. It's not sexy. It's really good. You go into a photo, you click it, and you can walk through the house. So I agree with that, Justin. That's a big one. And I've switched from Matterport just because the photographer who was doing it wasn't such a good photographer.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think a part of the a separate aside, I think a part of the reason why we're probably not talking too much about technology is because there was a very long and repeated apology to the agents, in which we have been breaking the technology, and they thought that at this point in time, labs, let's break it fast, repair it, break it fast, repair it. And a lot of agents just truly did not like that. So right now the focus is stabilizing the platform as it is now, rather than spinning out new product. So they really want Command to be very stable, and no daily launches. It's like maybe once a month, so that agents can really dive in, do what they need to do, and not worry about things changing up on them or any sort of loss of service or anything like that.
Awesome. Great. So I know we didn't get through all the questions, but that's okay. Does anybody have any questions for anybody else that's on the call today about anything? Anybody want to add anything that they didn't add earlier? Was it worth going to family reunion this year? Was it worth the money?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Well worth the
I
money.
mean, for the amount of money that you spent, you walked away with so much more, I
Mhm.
mean, that was like a steal, quite
Yep.
honestly.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, what I was exposed to in the information is things that I can do today and say, you know what, I'm gonna do something 6 months from now, I can do it next year, like just walk away with so much information. So it was really good, definitely
Awesome.
worth it.
Who
And
will
the best
raise a,
part-
oh,
oh,
no, go
sorry.
ahead. Sorry, no, go
And
ahead.
I feel like the best part about it is that because there was so much information coming at you, and now you have the access to be able to go back on and retake notes or get those different ideas. And I believe that I heard that for family reunion next year, they will be implementing, or I heard this, also online as well. We could do it. They're going to do it in person online, I hope.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
that'd be
that's
awesome.
huge to be able to go back and relook at everything.
Yeah.
So
'cause
Kristen, I haven't
the-
been able to go back. When I go to log back in, it says that I don't have an account. I was like, hey, wait a minute. So I haven't been able to go back and look.
All
I
right,
don't know
we'll
if
have,
there's an email.
we'll have to help you with that. So when we're in person family reunion, there could be like a 2:30 slot with like, I don't know, 10 or 12 classes. And you probably want to go to 9 of them, but
Yeah.
you can only go to 1. So, and then you have to hope that maybe this class that I want to go is going to be on Tuesday too. So I can go to the Tuesday one. So if they do have all the classes for everyone that attends in person, they have them afterwards, that would be humongous because then we can get even more out of it. You know, you get to go to way more stuff than you would have if you were in person, because you just can't get to them all.
Yeah.
So I hope so. Yeah.
I hope so.
Kristen, I think the biggest cost of a family reunion is my time.
Mhm.
You know, it was cheap to go and we got it, but I think it's using our time wisely. Everybody who said, yeah, they're there and we can go back to it. That's really what we need to do, is to really think now through what we went through and now begin to sort out and say what's most important, because there's so much out there available. It's almost overwhelming. Now family reunion's over. Now we got everything else going. There's more. And to figure it out and to spend the time on the sessions that were most important. Don't try to do it all. Back to that fundamental thing and figure out and implement. But I think it's the biggest cost is time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who's going to mega camp?
When is it?
We don't know yet. It's to be determined. It's either going to be August or September. That's when it usually is, one of those 2 months.
Are they planning it just being virtual like this?
Yes. Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Yep. And if we do, I hope we do go to family reunion in Orlando, as you all know, because you all were on family reunion. That's going to be in Orlando next year. Who's going to be going to that besides me and Bernice?
Disney. I want to go to Disney.
Definitely be there.
Awesome.
I think we need a vacation.
We
Yeah,
totally need a vacation.
You know, I go to these for the value, not for, but this year here coming up, I think I owe it to myself, owe it to the family and to do both.
Yeah.
But it's a great location. Take advantage of both if you can.
Absolutely. Sorry, Andrew, we couldn't hear what you said.
Whereas I said I love doing fishing trips out of that area. So maybe that might be on the docket, COVID friendly, if we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, it's 2:00, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for sharing everything. I am so excited we did this because I didn't know there was a farming class. So I'm going to go take that farming class right now.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Thank you guys for your time. And I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys got a lot of family.
Thank you.
Awesome. Bernice, we'll touch base about getting you back in.
Sure, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.